All right. Ugh. Um, how's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, shut that away. Um, so it's been a interesting last few days. Aside from the court rulings that we had a couple days ago, um, we have the big beautiful bill being put to a vote, um, and of course everything along with it. Some Republicans are trying to sneak some stuff in. There was one who was trying to make a backdoor deal. It's Big Beautiful Bill is just more of a mess than we pretty much originally thought because they're trying to now constantly add or remove things because some believe it wasn't enough or gone too far. So I think they're still debating. I don't know if they actually voted yet. We'll go and check in on that. Um, Because of this big beautiful bill, there is a Senate Republican who's not going to seek re-election because the Fallon had pretty much threatened him. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Where if you don't show loyalty, you get ousted, right? That's all the Fallon cares about is loyalty, loyalty to him, but not unto others, right? He doesn't care to be loyal to anyone else. He only cares if people are loyal to him. That's how it works in this world. So yeah, that's kind of that was over the last few days, right? So we can probably check in real quick on that on that bill going down in the Senate. Right, like I said, it's in the Senate right now. They read the whole 900 pages of it. I think it took like 16 hours, I believe. The reading ended like this morning, um, and now we're just kind of waiting to see the fate. Some people think actually it has a chance of being killed, or unalived, or removed, or stopped. Sorry, I'm trying to figure the best words with that. Well, for the most part, I personally think it's pretty much just delaying the inevitable. It will pass. It's just going through a bunch of loophole, or not loopholes, just going through a bunch of loops and bounds and leaps just to get there. But it will eventually pass. Um, Unfortunately. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look and see if there's any new updates on that. Like I said, it's going on right now. So the this big beautiful bill does add 3.3 trillion to the national debt. Now remember, he claimed that they were going to lower the debt. So the filing claimed they're going to lower the debt, claim that they're not going to add new debt, claim that they're going to cut the debt, claim that they're going to be fiscally responsible. Just lied about all that as usual. Everything he pretty much said during his campaign was pretty much a lie. And the biggest one again now is he wasn't going to add any new debt. Well, it came out that 3.3 trillion will be added to the debt. So he lied about not adding to the debt as he just did that, and he'll do it again. This won't be the only time he probably adds to the debt. He'll find another way to continue to add to the debt. That's what he does best. He did it his first term. And he's doing it again his second term, and he'll probably add more to it. I guarantee it. I think there's supposed to be a government shutdown potentially at the end of the year because some funding's gonna run out. Um, so they got to pass a new budget or pass a new bill for that. Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Um, so Senate bill adds 3.3 trillion to national debts. Republicans reject CBO's cost methodology, face internal party divide. Democrats argue bill favors wealthy U.S. social programs. Does. And Republican Tom Tillis, who Fallon blasted over a vote against advancing bill, says he will not seek re-election. So the Fallon basically said, "Hey, you're not loyal to me. Now I'm going to make sure you lose the seat." So instead, he's just going to not run for re-election. Again, he only cares if people are loyal to him. He doesn't care to be loyal to anyone else. He'll throw anybody he can, anybody he wants under the bus. He does not give two shits about anybody, which I find it funny that MAGA thinks he does care about them. He really doesn't give a shit about you. He's proven time and time and time again he does not give a shit about his own voting base. Like they just still refuse to see it. I don't know how else you can make him see it. He himself kind of pretty much said it multiple times. Senate repos push forward President Fallon's sweeping tax cut and spending bill on Sunday in a marathon weekend session over as a nonpartisan forecaster said it would add estimated 3.3 trillion to the nation's debt over a decade. How do I know what? The estimate by Congressional Budget Office of the bill's hit in 36.2 trillion federal debt is about 800 billion more than the versions passed last month. So they added. I didn't think they added. That is crazy. They added more debt to the bill. That's actually nuts. Think what? You're not really being. You're not really speaking on it. You're just saying stuff, man. Like, what are you talking about? Republicans have long voiced concern about growing U.S. deficits and debt, have rejected the CBO's long-standing methodology to calculate the cost of legislation. Dems, meanwhile, hope the last eye-widening figure could stoke enough anxiety among fiscally minded conservatives to get them to buck their party, which controls both chambers of Congress. Excuse me. Pre-pubs are doing something the Senate has never done before, deploying fake math and accounting gimmicks to hide the true cost of the bill. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said as debate opened on Sunday, repos are about to pass the single most expensive bill in U.S. history to give tax breaks to billionaires while taking away Medicaid, SNAP benefits, and good-paying jobs for millions of people. Now, remember, there were many Republicans who came out against these cuts. Rand Paul being one of them, because they have these Medicaid and benefits cuts affect their states the most. So it risks them losing in re-election come time around, because their constituents would be like, "Hey, you promised you weren't going to cut my benefits. Now here we are." So that's why people thought originally this would not really pass the Senate, because there were Senate Republicans who were concerned about those cuts to the programs, because their states would be impacted the heaviest. Now they're gonna have to kind of face the consequences. Really, I don't really. It's harder for me to really feel bad. It's what people. That's what they voted for. They wanted to get rid of people off of those programs, and Senate only narrowly advanced the tax cut, immigration, border, and military spending bill in a procedural vote late on Saturday, voting 51-49 to open debate to 940-page mega bill. And like I said, they had the Dems did force them to read it, so they read all 940 pages. It took 16, 17 hours. They just got done like early this morning, so they did read the whole bill on the floor. Felon on social media hailed Saturday's vote as a great victory for his great, big, beautiful bill. And separate post on Sunday, he said, "We will make it all up times 10 with growth more than ever before." The administration of debts to divide Republican Party over the bill. Senator Tom Tillis said he would not seek re-election next year after Fallon threatened to back a primary challenger in retribution for Tillis' Saturday night vote against the bill. On Sunday, Fallon celebrated Tillis' announcement as great news on Truth Social and issued a warning to fellow Republicans who have concerned over the bill. Remember, you still have to get reelected. Don't go too crazy. So he's threatening people's seats if they dare to go against him on the Republican Party. It's all this whole dictatorship thing. Loyalty to him, but loyalty to no one else. That's how it is. Senator Mark Warner, a Dem from Virginia, said this legislation would come to haunt repos if this gets approved, predicting 60 million Americans will lose their health insurance. Many of my repub friends know they're walking the plank on this, and we'll see if those who express quite consternation will actually have the courage of their convictions, Warner told CBS News. Face the nation with Margaret Brennan. They'll cave. Most of them will cave. I think one of them already did. So a lot of these repubs who are supposedly concerned about these cuts taking place, they'll cave. They're going to want to appease the felon so they can get their 10 minutes of fame from him saying their name and from his mouth. That's all this is to them for the most part, is him praising them for a good job on national TV. That's all MAGA really cares about, is just the theatrics of things. He'll do something that he's supposed to do as president, like, oh my god, he did, like, yeah, it's his fucking job. Like, what do you mean? Like, hello. Um, the legislation. Schumer called for the entire text of the bill to be read on the Senate floor. Oh, 20 hours. Oh no, process that began before midnight Saturday around to. Okay, so it was about 16ish hours. Okay, that was right. It's going to be 20 hours of debate. Okay, the Senate will enter an session known as a vote-a-rama. Before voting on passage, lawmakers said they hope to complete work on the bill on Monday. So, just a reminder, this bill got voted and passed by the House of Representatives. Then there was House of Representatives who were like, "Oh no, I didn't read it. I didn't know that was in there." Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. She admitted to not reading the bill, along with a few others that admitted to not reading the bill and voted yes still. Um, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, the other Repub no vote, opposed the legislation because it would raise the federal borrowing limit by an additional $5 trillion. The mega bill will extend 2017 tax cuts that were Fallon's main legislative achievement during his first term as president, cut other taxes, and boost spending on the military and broader security. We really don't need more spending on military. Like, we really don't. Uh, the fact that we spend so much already on military is just utterly disgusting. It really is. The amount of money we spend on military is just so ridiculous. Like, it's. Michael McCall, however, warned the fellow Republicans do not back Fallon on the bill could face payback from voters. They know that their jobs are at risk, not just from the president, but from the voting. The American people are based back home will not re-elect us to office. We vote no on this, McCall asked. I'd be surprised. They might vote for voting yes because they're going to realize what happened. And I'll say this: they're genius. The only reason they're genius about this is because the effects of the programs being cut uh, will largely start impacting around the next election time. So if a Dem does happen to win in the next election, they can just blame the Dems for social programs being cut because that's how this bill is going to work. So they kind of played into this perfectly. They're pretty much setting it up so if they do lose the next election and the Dems win, then the election after that they can be like, hey, look, the Dems cut Medicaid, even though it was this bill that is being passed right now. So that's kind of how that's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. Like I said, it's ultimately going to pass, most likely. Like I said, I keep seeing people saying that it has a chance it won't. We're just kind of really delaying the inevitable. At this point, this bill will pass. It's really no. It's a matter of when. It might not be Monday, but it'll probably be like sometime in the middle of the week that this bill passes. Unfortunately, but we'll do what we can, really. Um, where were we? Okay, so that's going on with the bill. Like I said, I don't think it's been voted on yet. We'll check out back in a little bit. It's going to be a long couple days with this, or long, really 2 days, I guess you could say, with this. So we'll see what happens with that big beautiful bill. Like I said, it's like I said before, it's really the inevitable. It's going to pass, and that's the unfortunate part about it. But hey, they got new debt. The Republicans, MAGA, claimed they voted for this, so they voted for raising and adding more to the debt. So when they say, yeah, this is what I voted for, totally believe them. They wanted more debt, apparently. That they just, they took them this long to realize it. Even though we said and been telling him over and over and over, he will raise the debt some more, like he did in his first term. He raised it more than Biden. He's gonna do it again. That's one record he seems to love breaking is adding more debt compared to past presidents. So, congrats to him, I guess. Oh, this is another birthright thing. We talked a little bit about this yesterday morning about the whole birthright situation. Um, Now, just a reminder on the Supreme Court ruling. So the Supreme Court ruling only applied to the injunction. Okay, universal injunction, meaning that a federal court cannot have a universal injunction on an executive order. Has to be state based unless it's a class action lawsuit, which two groups have already submitted for a class action. So the universal injunction will potentially go back into place because of the class actions. That's all they ruled on. They didn't rule on the executive order itself because the Felons Administration didn't ask them to rule on the executive order. They asked them to rule on the injunction because they knew the executive order is unconstitutional. Thus, the Supreme Court would rule that it is unconstitutional. Um, but this is just a Republican from Oklahoma. U.S. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen said on Sunday he believes babies born in the United States to immigrants living in the country legally should be deported alongside their parents if the adults are removed. So basically, he's saying that we should deport U.S. citizens. They are actively supporting deporting. Wow, they're actively supporting removing and sending off U.S. citizens to another country. That is like quite literally just blatant unconstitutional actions. He's not really the first one either. A lot of MAGA says that. Honestly, a lot of MAGA really just is on. All of MAGA is really just unconstitutional at this point. There's really no questions about it. They can't even deny it. They'll deny it. They'll deny they're unconstitutional. They'll deny they don't like the Constitution, but they in the end they ultimately are. They do not like the Constitution at all. And again, they can deny that, but we've all seen it. We're seeing it day by day how much they do not like the Constitution. Um, let's see. There was an article I saw. Oh, was it over here? Hold on. There was another article I wanted to read. Talked about that already. Um, was it not here? Oh, was it under here? So there was a article I saw I wanted to read. I don't remember if it was under this. Oh, I think it was. I don't think it was this, but this was something that came up over the past few days too. So remember the whole 90 deals in 90 days? Well, we're still at 0 deals, and we're about a little over or about a week away from the 90 days. We still have no deals. We have no deals. And then recently, um, he had come out and said that all trade talk with Canada is now done. We're not going to be doing any more talking with Canada. So 90 deals, 90 days, that was a complete lie. Then he said if there's a buyer for TikTok, but it's 2 weeks away. Now, every time he uses that 2 weeks timeline, we know he's bullshitting. Everything's always 2 weeks. Remember his healthcare plan that he's supposed to have? The greatest healthcare plan in the world, the best there is, best healthcare plan. Still haven't seen it. Still not out. Still no draft. Still nothing from that healthcare plan. He said that was almost done. Um, a trade agreement with India was supposed to be one of the president's felon's first victories from the reciprocal tariffs salvo he fired against dozens of trading partners in early April, but while the administration has been promising for more than 2 months that a deal is imminent, they're still struggling to get it over the finish line. Almost like he doesn't know how to negotiate. To be close to negotiations granted anonymity because of the sensitivity of the discussions, say Washington and New Delhi continue to make progress for the first phase of the trade deal. so, so they're only going to get past the first phase. They're not even going to have a full deal, just the first phase. That's actually insane. Um, but the White House demands to open up India as it seeks a major trade victory ahead of President Fallon's self-imposed July 8 deadline, as well as attempt to link talks to thorny geopolitics in the region, have made it much harder for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government to sell the deal to a domestic audience. And it underscores how Fallon's all sticks and no carrot approach to trade talks is making it difficult for even friendly foreign governments to reach an agreement they fear could be politically suicide back home, no matter how much the White House threatens their economics. So the quote unquote master negotiator can't get any deals done. What a surprise. A fucking shocker. I have to tell you, I'm so shocked he couldn't get any deals done. Shocked. So July 8th was the deadline. We're about Yeah, about a little over a week. And still, 90 deals in 90 days is now looking like zero deals 90 days. Honestly, I would have believed him if he just straight up said, "Yeah, we'll have no deals by 90 days." Like I would have believed that from the start. Like, "Oh, I believe you, sir." It's probably the first honest thing he probably said. Um, but no, he made this whole 90 deals in 90 day and hasn't gotten a single deal. He pretty much lied about the China deal again. Um, and lied about that again. Uh, Lied about a deal with the EU. And now no more talks with Canada on a deal. I heard someone say I read somewhere that I saw a post. Sorry, that he said that he made the 51st comment again. I haven't looked it up yet. I'll probably do it here on the live, but someone can confirm that if he did actually make that Canada should be a 51st state again comment. 'Cause he hasn't said that in a while. So it'll be like, wow, he's going back to his comfort slogans. India is one of the first countries to begin trade negotiations with the U.S., launching talks in February. Or was I sorry? I lost my point. Oh, as Fallon began to unveil his ambitious agenda upend global trade, negotiators have reached agreements on some agriculture issues, energy purchases, and non-tariff barriers, prompting rosy White House projections that a deal is in the offing. While visiting India in late April, Vice President J.D. Vance announced the two sides had officially finalized terms of reference for the negotiations. However, Lennox has adjured that you should expect a deal between the United States and India in the not too distant future, because I think we have found a place that really works for both countries. So they haven't found any place. At an event in the White House on Friday, Fallon himself teased that I think we're going to reach a deal where we have the right to go and trade in India. We're looking to get a full trade barrier dropped, which is unthinkable, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. But at this moment, we've agreed to that. But it's been proven difficult to officially ink a deal. People close to the negotiations say because all the things that Trump administration is asking them to do, lower trade barriers, while only offering to give up some of its newly imposed tariffs in return. So he's not really negotiating at all. He's just trying to bully his way into these, uh, which explains why he doesn't have any deals yet. He's probably trying to bully these people into a deal that is not favorable to them. Um, and then so they're like, yeah, no, it's not going to work on us, and that's probably why we have zero deals, and we're just a little over a week away on 90 days. Because he's not really trying to negotiate; he's just trying to bully. uh, which doesn't surprise me because that's what he does best. He's a bully. That's what he that's really all he knows how to do. For the White House, which is rapidly approaching the deadline, India would be just the second country that has agreed to a deal, not counting a tariff cease. Are they really counting that as a deal? Oh my goodness! Wow, they're gonna give. Wow, they're going to basically say the fact that he backed down on the China tariffs is him making a deal. That is just some fucking spin right there. Holy shit. Any agreement would have to help justify the administration's claim that Fallon's high tariff rates are truly helping to open up new markets for American products while protecting the U.S. market. So, just a reminder: tariffs are just another tax on American citizens. I've seen people trying to boast about, oh, we added 300 billion from tariffs. Like, yeah, cool, we paid $300 billion more in taxes. Fan fucking tastic. It's supposed to be lowering taxes, but we somehow paid 300 billion more in taxes. That's great. Um, so that's how that's going. I'm trying to see if they um see if they mention the Canada thing, or at least the see if they mention no. So they don't mention that the trade deficit actually increased under the Fallons. Remember, he wanted to lower the trade deficit. It actually increased. I remember how by I don't remember by how much. So 34% increase thanks to these tariffs. Now remember, he said he was going to reduced the trade deficit. Well, he increased the trade deficit. So I guess congratulations to him. He I don't know. I don't know really how you. It's just, I don't understand. Now, just a reminder: having a trade deficit isn't necessarily even a bad thing. It's really not. Just because you have a trade deficit doesn't mean that's bad. It just means we buy more, and that's okay. Uh, we are a very heavy capitalist country, so it's only natural we buy more. Like this whole obsession over a trade deficit blows my mind. It really does. Like, who fucking cares? U.S. trade deficit widened to 131.4 billion in January, a 34% increase from December, the largest deficit reading on record by a wide margin. The $33 billion increase dwarfs the second highest increase of 15 billion in March 2022. Imports increased much more than exports as importers hedged anticipated tariffs. Deficit has increased 96.5 but year over year, up from 17 the previous month. Imports rose 10%, mainly goods, while services imports essentially flat. The monthly trade report does not adjust for inflation. Inflation adjustment imports rose 9.7%. Imports of industrial supplies rose 23.1 billion. 20.5 billion of that increase was finished metal shapes, which includes steel and aluminum. Steel and aluminum prices surged since December on tariff fears. Tariffs are slated to go into effect in two metals on March 12th, so it's a little old, but let's see if I can find a more recent one. Pretty sure there's a recent one. Let's see. Oops. Tools. Let's do the password. Um, oh, this is from May. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's really. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's everything's saying it's widening up. Just trying to find the one that I did read, but yeah. So kind of wild. You know, he was supposed to, make the trade deficit go away, and he just made it worse. And but again, like I said, having a trade deficit isn't inherently bad. It just means we buy more, and that's fine. Uh, I don't understand why that's an issue. I really don't. Where are we? Uh, oh yeah, if you haven't heard the whole Mamdani thing, sorry, it doesn't seem. I swear there's. I think everything's. I think right now everything's kind of focusing on the big beautiful bill. Um, but so we'll take a look on social media, see if there's any updates from there. I'm not seeing any new updates from articles in terms of the big beautiful bill thing. Some of these are pretty old. Democrats fighting more against Mamdani than the felon, which is kind of wild. Yeah, really nothing new. Interesting. I guess it's kind of a quiet day. Kind of wild, right? Um, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at social media for a bit real quick then. Not really seeing anything new. Actually, I think everything's kind of focused right now on the big beautiful thing, big beautiful bill, which is understandable. Um, but let's go and check out what's going on over here. See if there's any truth. Actually, we can check his Truth Social too. For all cost-cutting Republicans, of which I am one, remember you sought to get reelected. Don't go too crazy. We'll make it all up 10 times with growth more than ever. So I think he. So is this him admitting to the increase of the debt that the big beautiful bill will cause? Is that him? Great news, Senator Tom Tillis. We already saw that. As some Democratic elected staffer should not be allowed to hurt the Republicans' bill. Oh yeah, he threatened to withhold aid to Israel, if they didn't stop, if they continued to put Netanyahu on trial for corruption. So he's again helping a corrupt politician. Uh, hmm. Lower prices, lower taxes, more jobs, better paying jobs, more money in people's pockets. So just lying about the bill, lying about the border, lying about the B2 in Iran, lying about Iran again. Nothing new. Uh, Nothing interesting there. Wow, it's really just kind of a slow news day right now. I say slow news day. I really mean day. Not like it's been slow over the last. What are you doing? Over the last week. So let's see what we got here going on social media. Trump wants Congress to override the Senate parliamentarian. Why? Because part of its big beautiful bill got kicked out for breaking Senate rules. Instead of fixing the bill, they went to break the rules. That's like getting caught cheating and then trying to fire the referee. uh, it's a nice graph to share there. Republican budget, Medicaid cuts, 930 billion. Tax breaks for corporations, 910 billion. Yep, sounds about right. Here's Musk warning against the big beautiful bill. He's actually, I'll give him credit. He's holding his ground on this big beautiful bill thing. He's not been a fan of it. I'll give him credit for that. I'll give him credit for sticking to his guns. Sheriff Idaho just gave green light. Family gets a clean shot on the shooter targeting firefighters. Oh, there was a. I'll go over that. I wonder. Actually, I'm surprised that's not on here. Let's see if uh I'm surprised that's actually not one of the stories here. Let's look up active shooter. Okay, so if you haven't heard, there's an active shooter in Idaho. I just heard about this about an hour ago. A sniper who was still on the loose late Sunday shot at firefighters battling a mountain wildfire in Idaho, unaliving at least two people and injuring more, authorities said. During a news conference, Clinton County Sheriff Robert Norris said that at least two people were killed, possibly firefighters. Norris added that they are still actively taking sniper fire as he spoke. We now have two unalivings. We have unknown amount of casualties. Norris said we still have civilians that are coming off that mountain. We might have civilians that are stuck or in shock on that mountain. So this is a very fresh situation. We don't know who the suspect is, suspect or suspects are. We don't know how many suspects there may be. Spokesperson for the Northern Lake Fires Protection confirmed the situation to Fox News Deal, saying the active shooter situation and very active wildfire scenes were related. So, from what I gathered from everything I was kind of reading, they're thinking the fire may have been started intentionally to set up this trap so this sniper can start taking out firefighters. So that's still one investigation that's ongoing. Two, they don't know who the sniper is. North said the suspect used what appeared to be modern-day, high-powered sporting rifles. We're talking rapid fire. Due to danger, fire crews had to retreat, and the brush fire continues to pose a threat. Authorities are urging residents in the vicinity to stay vigilant and exercise caution as the situation develops. I would encourage all of you to tell people to stay away from this area. Do not come to this area. Stay away from the area. Norris said this is going to be, if these individuals are not neutralized quickly, it's going to be a likely multi-day operation. Damn. See if anything. That was about 43. So this is 9 minutes ago. Two people unalived in Idaho sniper shooting while fighting brush fire. Two people have been fatally shot in a mountain community in the western U.S. state of Idaho while responding to a brush fire, says officials. Kootenai County Sheriff's Office Robert Norris said at least one person was firing at law enforcement with a high-powered rifle near the city of Cordeline. We are actively taking so nothing new there. Nothing new there. What is the cliche? Because they're not at this point in time showing any evidence wanting to surrender. Okay, so really no new updates. Trying to see. Yeah, no new updates on that. But yeah, so that's ongoing right now. So just, be safe. If you're in Idaho, be safe out there, especially if you're near that area. Kind of scary. Like I said, they don't know who it is. They don't know where he's at. Or they're at. They don't know if it's one or two shooters. They're still trying to determine if the fire was done intentionally to draw out these people. Oh, sorry, to intentionally draw out the firefighters. So there's a lot about that situation that's still ongoing. And it sounds like it might be a multi-day operation if they don't find those shooters. So again, if you're in Idaho, just be safe out there. You know, it's kind of crazy. Sorry about that, TikTok. Um, okay, that was weird. Sorry about that. I I clicked the wrong button. And I accidentally closed my TikTok studio, so it ended the live, but we're good. Um, where were we? Oh, excuse me. Go a little bit longer. My iPad's running low on battery, anyways. So I'll go a little bit longer. I'm gonna see if there's any updates on the big beautiful bill. Interesting. So I'm just trying to see if there's any updates on this bill. Let's do this. Let's look under recent. President Fallon praises Republican Party. That's old. I just want to see on the update progress or the voting progress. Current version of Fallon's Big Beautiful Bill being advanced by Senate Republicans will now cut $330 billion from Medicaid, all to fund tax breaks from billionaires. Yeah, that number did increase. I'm pretty sure from the first version. There's actually a lot of things they added after passing it in the House. So just a reminder, they passed it in the House, right? House Republicans passed it. About a day later, there was like a couple House Republicans who came out, Marjorie Taylor Greene being one of them, saying, "Oh, I didn't read the bill. I didn't know that was in there. I would have voted no if I'd known." So they admitted to not even reading the bill, but still voted yes. There was even one House Republican who was upset about some stuff in the bill, but was still trying to blame Democrats for it, even though he voted yes. That was weird. And now the Senate is ultimately trying to add and remove certain things, so it's getting changed again. So then it has to pass this, go back down to the House, and so now it's just going through extra steps. Because, like I said, ultimately this bill is going to pass. We're really just kind of delaying the inevitable. Um, Ultimately, it's going to get passed. We're just going through extra steps because Republicans are now trying to change and add things to it that weren't in it before uh, because they didn't think anyone was going to really pay attention. Tillis, one of the ones who voted no on the Big Beautiful Bill, along with Rand Paul and I think like two others, was upset because in his state, he will have apparently 660,000 people get removed from Medicaid in his state, which is why Rand Paul is against this bill because he too will have people in his state who would be removed from Medicaid due to this bill. So it's like they realize that this is a bad bill, but they didn't do shit until the last minute on trying to make sure it doesn't pass. Like if they actually made effort beforehand to make sure this bill didn't pass through the House, they would have, but they refused to. And they were probably hoping it didn't get passed so it wouldn't get to this point. Now they're trying to hold the line. Um, because that their seat could be on the House now if they really have their constituents lose their benefits. Um, that's why I've always find it funny the whole America First thing that they chant from MAGA. It's got to be one of the biggest lies, one of not the biggest lies they chant the most. Because anytime you want to add money to a program that will benefit Americans first, they're 100% against, right? Like, they're okay with cutting Medicaid, which helps Americans, so American first. They're okay with cutting veteran benefits, helps Americans, Americans first. They're okay with cutting SNAP programs, Americans first, something that helps Americans. Like, they're always touting, let's help American people first, let's do this for the Americans first. But when you actually come down to it, they don't want to help them at all. They just want them to suffer, essentially. So it's like, do you really want to help them? Do you not? Like, you think you would be okay with a little bit more money going out to helping Americans first, like you claim. Like you would think that, but that's not entirely what they are about. It's just something they chant to make it seem like they do care about Americans. In reality, they don't really even care about this fucking country. Um, they really don't care about this fucking country. Talked about that earlier today about how it adds 3 trillion to the debt. Fallon's presidency news that Congress reached advance beautiful bill. Is there any updates? Let's see if there's any recent updates from the last time. Last time I read an update was about an hour ago. Um, looks like they're still debating. Yeah, looks like they're still debating. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like they're still debating. So really no new updates there. This is the active shooter. Don't know what's going on there yet. Um, okay. So the Big Beautiful Bill is still being debated on. So we're not going to really have much of an update until the debates are done, which will be probably sometime early mid tomorrow. Then they'll go on to the vote, which will probably pass, and then it gets voted again on because of the changes that were made. Again, we're just delaying the inevitable at this point. So it's unfortunate, really, but we'll get through it. I hope. I hope. Let's see here. Uh, this bill pulls like garbage because it is garbage. Nice. Failure trying never lose next again. What is this? Swain County, North Carolina Republican Sheriff Curtis Cochran, elected in a county that voted 71% for Trump or for felon, was arrested for attempted prostitution, sexual battery, and assault. He used his patrol car to lure stranded women, offering money for sex and assaulting them. One victim fled on video, terrified. What do you know? Another MAGA supporter. Shocking, right? See that every accusation is just a confession. That's what these are. Every accusation is just a confession. This is kind of crazy. Yep, that seems about right. Ugh. Oh boy, kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what to really think. Like I said, this MAGA just Trump felons winning everything. Not really, but okay. Um, so uh, so let's just go through a little reminder. This is what MAGA voters wanted. They wanted 3 trillion added to the deficits. They wanted to increase the debt. So they're getting what they wanted. They're getting both, getting a debt increase. They're getting higher taxes. They're getting higher grocery prices. They're getting higher gas prices. They're getting the theatrics. They voted for theatrics, and they're getting the theatrics. So I've said it before. If you see MAGA saying, "Yeah, I'm getting what I voted for," absolutely believe them because they voted for theatrics. That is what they wanted. It is what they're getting. Right. Again, this whole idea that he goes on TV and says, "Oh, I did a thing." It's like, cool. You're supposed to do that. You're the fucking president. But they make it seem like, "Oh, no one's ever done it." Like, no, it's just it's stupid. Um, it's just really stupid. But that's kind of what they've turned politics into. They turned it into a reality TV show is what they did. They made it entertaining so they can say, "Oh, I voted for this entertainment." Like, why would you vote for that? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Um, it's so dumb. Um, yeah, and I'll say I didn't even know they added 800 billion more to the federal debt. So I knew the first version would add to the federal debt. I didn't know they made a second version that added another 800 billion. That's actually nuts. Imagine saying like, "Hey, adding to the debt's not enough. Add some more." And then they added more. You know what I mean? Like, you know how insane that is? Like you sit there and say, "Hey, I think we can add more to the debt. Let's do it." And then they go ahead and add 800 billion more. Credit to them, man. Like, I didn't think it was possible to make it more expensive. I take that back. They're gonna prove me wrong. They're definitely going to prove me wrong. And come tomorrow, it's gonna be another 1 trillion added to the debt with this bill. I shouldn't have said anything. I apologize. We are screwed. Um. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go back to social media real quick. Just a reminder. So the big beautiful bill right now is still in the debates portion. Okay. Still in the debate portion. So the debates will probably end early to mid tomorrow. It will get voted by the Senate. I know there's people out there that think this could potentially fail. Um, I'm not seeing it. I know there was some kind of loophole or some crap like that where it could fail, but I don't really see it happening. I think those that felon felon US felon us, you're a felon. I think Fifi's trying to admit she's a felon. Okay. Um, so, like I said, this bill will ultimately pass, though. I have to go. I have to find where I saw there's a potential way it does not pass. I did a quick read on it. It was a post. I have it wasn't an article, so that's why I'm also kind of hesitant to if it really can not pass. Um, but it will. Again, we're just kind of lollygagging on it at this point. So if it does get voted yes, it goes back down to the House, so they vote on the changes. Once they approve the changes, that's when it goes to the felon for the signing. Um, uh, let's see, where were we? So Tom Tillis is one of the Republicans who voted no on the big beautiful bill. Again, his concern is what do I tell 663 million people in North Carolina in 2 years or 3 years when President Fallon breaks his promise by pushing them off Medicaid because the funding is not there anymore? Again, a lot of the ones who are voting no in the Senate that are Republicans are doing so because of this. They are afraid that if this passes and their voter base loses their Medicaid or any other program, it's going to cost them. That is ultimately why they're concerned about this bill, because it will cost them potentially losing the election if this bill passes, because people who they were supposed to represent will now be impacted and lose their benefits. That is the concern, along with the adding 3 trillion to the debt. That is another concern for like one other person I saw who was not happy. Republican was not happy about a $3 trillion increase to the national debt when they're supposed to be physically responsible, which they really never have been. I'm not really sure. I never understood where that came from, where Republicans were more physically responsible. I have to figure out where that came from because history shows they are not. So if someone's got a little info on that, let me know. Let's see. Uh, what's this? The plan to sell U.S. public lands has now been dropped from the big. Okay, I did read about that. Mike Lee withdrew his proposal after massive backlash and a huge win for American people on public lands. Yeah, there was a provision in the Big Beautiful Bill where we could sell public lands. Um, that apparently has now been removed. So again, like this is where we're at. What else we got here? I'm trying to see if there's some clips potentially here. This is. Oh, I already read about that. Just read about that. Kentucky Governor Andy Bashar on Fallon's big ugly bill. They're adding trillions of dollars to the national debt. They're going to blow a hole in every state's budget with what they're doing to SNAP. They're going to fire a ton of healthcare workers. They're going to throw people off their healthcare coverage. They're going to close rural hospitals, and more people are going to go hungry. So again, MAGA does not care about any of this shit because they don't care about Americans or being American first. They use the American first line to make it seem like they care, when in reality they actually fucking don't. They never have. They never will. They care about themselves. And as long as they can say that it makes liberals cry or mad or whatever, that's good enough for them. They don't care about actual policy. They don't care about actual governing. They don't care about any of that. They care about theatrics. As long as it looks like something is cool or something said was cool on TV, that's good enough for them. That is good enough for them. They'll gladly take that as a win. They care only about the theatrics and nothing more. That's why they believe every lie he says, because, like, oh, but he was on TV. He's being transparent, so it must be true. No, it's just because he knows you guys are fucking dumb and will believe whatever he says. Like, I don't know how clear we have to make it. Like, the dude says magnets don't work underwater. Like, hello? Like, how is that not a fucking sign of? Yeah, I don't know. CDU estimates the Big Beautiful Bill will add 3.3 trillion in the budget deficits over the next 10 years. Um, it's 3.3 now. It wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow that shit jumps to 4. It wouldn't surprise me come tomorrow that we find out they added another zero point 0.7 to it. Now it's going to add 4 trillion to the national debt. Like I said, that's one thing he's good at is adding to the debt. He did it really well in his first term, and he's doing it really well in his second term. He loves adding. He loves adding debt. What can I say? It's the only thing he's really been good at. Um, and yeah, now that USA ID is gone and the Dems are broke, what does USA ID have to do with the Dems? You know what USA ID is? Gonna guess this person doesn't know what USAID is. He has not brought in 10 trillion in trade. That is, that's what I mean. Like he did not brought in 10 trillion dollars in trade. Like I have no idea where he even came up with that number. He just said a number on TV, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, look what he did," and he actually didn't. Uh, no, he did not bring $10 trillion in trade. He actually increased the trade deficit, which is actually insane because he said he was going to lower it. Uh, so that's he didn't. He did not. Hold on. I'm seeing like hold on. Wait, I gotta find something to share because that's his comment reminded me of something. I see. I see where it is first. Uh, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I can't find it. Okay. Let's just look up this $10 trillion in trade thing. Oh boy. January 21st. Fallon said before he finished the first full business day of his second term, the United States already secured 3 trillion in new investments. On April 2nd, it looks like we're going to have 6 trillion in investments. Now he's up to 7 trillion. May 4th, Fallon told Christine Welker, I think we probably have close to 9 trillion. So he just kept going. We have not close to 10 trillion. That's far beyond the figures the White House already has released publicly. We tell the White House public list of investments. They amount to 2.1 trillion in corporate investments, or at most 5 points. So not even barely half. Um, on top of that, some of the investments that they're talking about were deals that were made before he became into office. Like that's the whole funny thing about it. He's trying to take credit for deals that were made in office, but no, there's no $10 trillion. Let alone the ones that have came in were already from the Chips and Science Act. Um, and there was already deals made before the felon had even came into office, and he's just trying to take credit for it. And so that's what I mean. Like this dude is proving my point. They care about the theatrics of this all. They don't care if it's actually true or not. As long as he does it, as long as he comes on TV and says these things, they're gonna take it as face value. But no, he did not bring in 10 trillion in trade. His own numbers don't even add up to it. And some of these investments were already done prior to his inauguration. Um, by but they appear to be an exaggeration on pledges and investments made by various companies and countries. And what's even better about some of these investments that he's trying to claim, like let's say he they did happen the day he got inaugurated. Let's just say it. What's great about some of these investments is a lot of them won't even really take place until after his term, because there's a chance that the next president comes in, undoes all these tariffs, and then they be like, oh, you know what? It's cheaper we stay outside the U.S. So that's why a lot of these commitments are just so fucking hilarious, because they're not committing until like 4 or 5 years down the road, where they know that it, they don't have to even worry about it anymore. They can just kind of slowly let it die, or unalive. Sorry, they can slowly just let it run its course, and then don't have to actually do anything at all. So it's so I love like that was a fucking great example of how MAGA just like eats anything he says, and takes it as truth. Like it was a beautiful. I thank you, person in the comments. You oh astonishing. You just proved my point, and I love it. I really do love it. By March, President cited 5 trillion saying during swearing in ceremony on March 28th. Here we are in 2 months. We think we're close to 5 trillion, and he just keeps going. Following March, the total announced to 7 trillion. A figure the president repeated several times. Finished the month claiming an April 30th cabinet meeting. We have 8 trillion. Early May, the number climbed to 9 trillion. By May 8th, when the felon was announcing plans for a trade deal with the United Kingdom, so I think we would be close to 10 million trillion investment. The list, which the White House describes as non-comprehensive, go figure. um, about 2 trillion investments from companies, both domestic and foreign, and pledge about 4 trillion in some other countries for the rest of your business. But the list includes some investments that may not attribute to Fallon's policy. Going back to what I was saying earlier, plans for a $500 billion artificial intelligence infrastructure project was reportedly underway last spring before the Fallon won the presidential election. A news story from March 29, 2024 reported executives open AI. This is what I mean. A lot of these were done prior to his inauguration, prior to even when he was elected. So yeah, it's no jobs are coming back here, man. Like there's like this idea that jobs are coming back is just it's not happening. Like I don't like how do I put it? It's a fantasy. Again, it's just go back to what he says. They just eat kind of deal, because as it is, there's supermarkets who are relying on self checkouts so they can hire less workers. There's factories that are relying on um, automation so they can hire less workers in warehouses and factories. Amazon's already testing robots that can put packages on conveyors, um, and so they can replace workers. That way, they don't have to worry about people going home to get rest and taking breaks and taking lunches. Like this whole idea that jobs are coming back is just so laughable. But again, it goes back to these people just eat anything he says and think it's true. And this person in the comment is just proving it. Like every comment he makes is just proving it. Like no jobs are coming back. As it is, we have plenty of jobs that are open, but not enough people for them. We don't have enough people for all these jobs that they think are coming. And a lot of these jobs they're claiming are coming back won't be open until like 4, 5, 6 years down the road. So like it's just I can't even. Anyways, prayers for Idaho. Yeah, yeah. I just talked about that earlier too. Was there any updates? Last update I saw was they still don't have. Let's see. So I'll go and bring that up again real quick. Oh, I spelled active wrong, but that's okay. Let me go to a more recent article. We'll do this one. Yeah, so prayers for Idaho, definitely. So 2 firefighters unalived in Idaho shooting. Gunman still active. Sheriff says multiple firefighters shot. 2 unalived in Idaho. Gunmen using high-powered rifles. No surrender signs. Firefighters shot while responding to a blaze near Correo de Aline. Sorry if I mispronounced that. 2 firefighters were killed or unalive when they were shot at while responding to a fire in northern Idaho. So this is happening today. The latest update I've seen is they still don't know if there's 1 or 2 shooters. They're unsure if it's multiple or just one. They're not sure who it is. There's been no clear identity of who the shooter is, and they're expecting that if they don't find them today, this could be a multi-day event. Um, they're also trying to determine if the fire was set purposely to lure the firefighters to the fire, to start open firing on the firefighters. So if you're in Idaho near this area, be safe out there. Um, but yeah, it's an unfortunate event going on still. Again, the shooter's still active. They have no clue where he is or she. Um, no clue if it's one or multiple people. And again, they don't. They're still trying to figure out if the fire was intentionally set to make this actually happen. So it's a pretty scary situation there. So just be safe out there. Hopefully, it doesn't last multiple days. Based off what I've read so far, it looks like it will go on for a couple days. He did give the order to open fire if they do see a line of shot on the shooter. Um, so so yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now in Idaho. Um, Again, hopefully it doesn't last more than 2 3 days. That's still a really long time. That's still a really long time, but they're doing what they can. The fire is still going, by the way, too. Like the fire is still going. So because they haven't been able to stop the fire due to these sniper fire. So it's yeah, it's kind of a bad situation all around, unfortunately. But yeah. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Oh, I think that guy left, but yeah, that guy was a perfect example of what I was just talking about, where they care about the theatrics, they don't care about the actual reality. Um, That was great, man. I really appreciate that. I might even give you a follow for just helping me there. That was fantastic. Holy moly. Okay, so I'm about to head off here. My iPad is roughly 18%, so I'm going to be heading off here soon. Let's do one quick last scroll through social media here, see if anything new has come up. Actually, let's go ahead and see. Oh, excuse me. Let's actually see if there is any recent updates on this hideout thing. Okay, so I knew that was a little bit ago. That was about 30 minutes ago. This person just reported 6 minutes ago. Um, let's play pickup basketball. Neonets who fouled extra hard and a couple rounds from behind to the skinheads. Wow. So I guess that's the kind of town that's part of. Those firefighters shot alive in Idaho. So yeah, the most recent update is the green light. That's what it looks like. The most recent update is the green light. Um, oh yeah, the Florida's Alcatraz. I forgot they're building that. Uh, uh, so Alligator Alcatraz, surrounded by 30 to 50 miles of swamp on every side. The Everglades remains mostly unexplored by humans because it is impenetrable. The weather in the Everglades varies between 75 and 95 degrees. Instead of being in the winter at night, the humidity remains at 90% year round. This mild weather is due to the shade provided by the trees and the coolness of the muddy water. There is no shade or mud. You see this? It's not sectioning housing for entire world. So this is kind of very misleading. It's not legal per se to run over people um, that are protesting. You only can do it if it is the only way to get out of a life-threatening situation. So, they're just kind of admitting they're going to commit a crime. Kind of a wild thing to say. So this is the. Oh, is this the alligator Alcatraz? Looks like it is. Oh. Middle of the Everglades is where they will be putting detained migrants to on a line. It's being built on an abandoned airstrip and amounts to a. I've added the info to companies that are building the. Not you can't enter into your thing. It will hold over 5,000 illegals. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Kind of wild. Um, oh yeah, today was. I was really hoping to go to the NYC Pride Parade, but I wasn't able to. Had a tutor earlier in the morning. Um, but it did look like a good time. I really wish I did go. I was looking forward to it. I'm gonna try and go next year. But it is. We only have one more day of Pride Month, guys. It looks like everyone had a good time. 'Cause I wish I was able to go. So copy feels tearing Punk's party apart. Yeah. Okay, so not really nothing new on the update side. I said we'll probably get a bunch of news tomorrow. Uh, oh, repos don't have enough votes, yes, to pass the big bullshit bill tonight. Repubs are using their full debate time with no floor speakers. They'll just run the clock. Wait, really? Oh, so I'm trying to see if there's a verified source for that. So I knew people were talking about it. I didn't think it was actually. Wow, that's actually huge. If this is true, that's huge. I didn't think it was actually going to be possible. Um, that's wild. Like I said we'll know more tomorrow. For as far as today, I think we're about as where we are in terms of updates and news. We'll definitely hear more about some stuff tomorrow. But yeah, so I I will be on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. Usually it's a late night stream. But I will be on tomorrow. So definitely tune in. We'll see what's going on with Big Beautiful Bill. See if this actually holds some truth. So I still think it passes. I think this is just kind of getting people's hopes up, but we'll see. But if you're in Idaho, be safe out there. Uh, scary situation. And happy Pride Month to all. And I'll see you all another time. Have a good one. Oh, I can't end the live. What the heck? Maybe I'm not going anyway. It won't let me click on end now. Hold on. Let me. Might be here the whole night, I guess. There it goes. Okay. Good night, everybody.